Good evening, world. It is now 1:20 in the morning, and before we start, I desire to say that it is an absolute honor to be standing here in front of you, using my voice and speaking to you. So thank you for seeing me, and thank you for being here with me in this moment. Usually I try to plan these a little bit more, but tonight something really potent came up. It came through, and I think it's my responsibility to share it with you. So I'm just going to read what I wrote down, and then we'll go from there. I wrote down, accepting people's perception of us without internalizing it, but also acknowledging that we are growing, and sometimes people experience our growing pains instead of our unconditional love and light. If they only choose to remember you, or us, as our growing pains, that is okay. In fact, it's amazing because it's a difficult thing to accept. And from difficulty, the most beautiful flowers blossom. And we get to look back at that person's disdain for us and say, thank you. Thank you for teaching me how to face rejection, denial, and adversity. Thank you for helping me understand that I cannot be liked by everyone. Thank you for reminding me that I am imperfect, and embracing imperfection is one of the greatest gifts that life has to offer our wounded child. Accepting that we are judgmental, we learn to be less judgmental. This is an acknowledgement of how the child within us works, from adulthood to geriatrics, until our next life, across the universe. Our inner child is always seeking acceptance of love, and it is unaware of how this will negatively affect our adulthood. So it is up to us, as adults, to forgive our wounded child for not understanding. And in turn, we learn how to set ourselves free from the wounded child. Speaking on behalf of relationships, parentalships, there are so many instances of our relationship left on a bad note. And then I wrote down notes change frequency and retune themselves. Whew. Okay. So let's unpack this. Tonight, I confronted somebody who, we haven't really been talking or getting along. And I just let that person know, because this is pretty crazy for me. This is not normal that this happens. So I have to share it with this person. I said, I've had so many dreams about you. And in every single one of those dreams, you are shining so bright, and we are the best of friends. And it's this reoccurring dream that I have. And I don't long for that to become a reality. I'm just speaking my truth. And this person, they didn't receive that well. I get it. When you tell somebody you've been dreaming of them a lot, maybe that's kind of weird. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's flattering. Maybe if you say it like this, you've been in my dreams. Maybe that's not a good way, but I am coming from a place of love and just like curiosity and excitement of, when we're in bad places with people, but we have good dreams about them, I mean, that's poetic. There's something there. There's something that the soul is trying to say, right? Perhaps, who knows? But tonight, that was not well received when I told this person that. They said, I don't know how to take this, this kind of niceness, you're dreaming of me as friends. She says, because I think that maybe underneath it all, it's just another form of manipulation. And in the moment, I said, I accept that. If that's how you perceive me still, I accept that. And in that moment, it made me realize something extremely important. I don't consider myself a manipulative person. However, there are times, because we as humans are imperfect and we are just doing our best every single day. One of my favorite mentors, I guess, Matt Kahn, he has a very beautiful quote, and the quote says, "You're doing the best you can, and if you could be doing any better, you would be." And when I read the text message that said some people only choose to remember us from our growing pains, that was derived from that moment of her perceiving me as, when I say I've been dreaming about you, I wish you well, and her response is, this is just could be some secret form of manipulation. Like, whew, like, man, I really don't consider myself a manipulative person. I think I do my absolute best to just be a shining light, to be honest, to be authentic, to be genuine. I have a very beautiful mother, and she's raised me well. However, I'm human, and I have wounds. We have wounds that we're unaware of, and sometimes we act from these wounds unconsciously. And when she said, this may be some form of manipulation, it is not technically it's my right, sure. We get to choose how we react, how we respond. But it's my responsibility to take ownership of her perception, because we cannot live in denial as humans. When I wrote at the end of this that there are parental scenarios where people leave on bad notes, I'm sure there are couples. I'm sure that you know somebody. This is why I'm making this video right now. I'm sure you know somebody in your life who you don't want to talk to because they think you are a complete asshole. They think maybe you're evil. I mean, what words can we come up with right now? Manipulative, condescending. You're a liar, right? And this hurts. It really hurts. It's our responsibility to not internalize this, but just to accept that we are not here to be liked by everyone. And that's okay. That's okay if no matter how much we grow as humans and move through our crap and our muck and our dirt, and we feel, wow, I've transformed. But people are still fixated on those moments, those growing pains where perhaps I was manipulative. Shit, oops. Hey, damn. Maybe I was. But that is a beautiful opportunity for us to take ownership of accepting that we are imperfect and we do act from wounds, from our childhood wounds. When we're calling out for our parents and we're tugging at them and we just say, look at me, look at me, look at me. And they don't look at us. We want to show them, we want to do a dance, and we want them to watch our dance. But they don't watch the dance. Oh, that hurt a lot. And we carry that hurt into adulthood? What the hell is going on here? The depth, the range of psychology and roots and vines and how they're tangled. It's crazy to comprehend. As a matter of fact, we pretty much can't comprehend it. That's why therapy exists. That's why psychologists, exist to help us through these things. And I was really hurt by when she said, that I was manipulative. Because I'm just trying to speak from my heart. I'm just trying to be a beacon of love and light. And, I didn't have the time or the courage, and I'm sure they didn't want to go through this either, but can we just put things on a scale sometimes? Is that fair to ask, or is this just me trying to get my way? And what I mean by that is when we put the entirety of our experience on a scale with some person, does that scale lean toward negativity more and heartache and depression and sadness, or does it lean toward happiness and joy and love? And I would like to think that with this person, the scale was tipping so much to the love and support. And then there was just a little bit of my perhaps woundedness that came out. And it came back to bite me in the butt, if you will. But that was just like that much, So this brings me to a very important point. Hopefully I can make it clearly. I desire to make this point clearly. I accept her perception of me, even if it continues to the end of time, into the next life, that I am a manipulative person, and I'm secretly looking for another opportunity to manipulate. If that's how they want to think of me as the entirety, I can't change that, And it is through this tough love that we grow and we become stronger. But we have to choose that, because we can live in the victim mentality, and we can choose to stay angry. Or we can look at it as a glorious opportunity to grow. So the point that I desire to make about this is, if you're watching this, I desire to ask you, how are you being judgmental to somebody that is just trying to work through their pain? Do you not accept the pain of your own experience? Do you not see yourself as imperfect? Because if we don't recognize that we are imperfect, then we hold other people to a much higher, here comes the word, here it comes. It's not inappropriate. It's almost like an unreasonable standard of this is who you need to be. But when we say this is who you need to be, we're leaving ourselves out of the equation and saying, I'm perfect, and you're not. You have stuff to work on, but I don't. But I think we're all in this together. Charlie Kirk said, we are sinners. And I hated when he said that. I hate that shit. I hate the word sinner. Like some people hate the word God. I hate the word sinner. But he defined the word sinner, and he said it means that we are in error. And that I can relate to. Because as we grow up, life throws so many things at us, and it sticks with us in our subconscious mind, and it programs us, and it wires us. And it's almost like it controls us. And only through relationships do we see the mirror of our wounds. But it's important for the people to not only be, it's important for people to be a two-way mirror, right? I think that's the point I'm trying to make. We have to be two-way mirrors. Because if we just point the finger at other people and just judge them, we're going to be bitter our whole lives. And we're just putting more of a spotlight on ourselves, that there are parts of ourselves that we are unwilling to accept. So it's easier to just point the finger at somebody else and focus on their badness focus on their brightness instead of their darkness. And maybe, just maybe, that is a reflection of what that person is going through on a regular basis. Maybe they struggle to see the light within themselves, and they're running from the dark. And if you're running from the dark, then it's a lot easier to point fingers at those who are embracing the dark. It's a lot easier to point fingers at people who aren't afraid of humiliation. And I am not afraid to be humiliated. I think I am. But I recognize that it is an absolute honor to be humiliated because we learn so much about ourselves in the process. So let's wrap this up. I'm going to take one more look at my phone, scroll through this. But I just desire to say right now, I know I'm not the only person going through this, and I know that there is someone in your life who will not accept you. No matter how hard you try to love and be the best version of you, there are people who will never see that. People who will only choose to focus on, like I said, your growing pains. But it is not up to us to internalize other people's perception of us, their negative perception of us. It is our duty to use that negativity to go inward and to grow from it, so that we do not become bitter and we do not hate the world, but that we learn to love and accept the fact that we are constantly growing, that we are constantly in error, and that we are constantly judging other people. And no matter how much we try, we will always judge people. But having an awareness and accepting will only build better relationships. So I encourage you, if you're watching this, if there is someone in your life who has hurt you and does not accept you, and that says bad things about you, or categorizes you as evil or manipulative or a drunk or a piece of shit, do not internalize that. Just learn to love it. Learn to forgive that person. Apologize, even if it hurts, because through forgiveness and apology, we grow. And it's not always going to work out. It's not always going to work out. That person may never change their perception of you, and that's okay. It is a blessing in disguise. It is an opportunity for us to say, I don't need confirmation from other people to love myself. I can find love within myself, knowing that I am not perfect. And it is through embracing my imperfections and learning more and more about myself every day that I can become a better person, become a beacon of light in this world, and create unity in return. Exude unity in return. So, that is all. God bless you. Universe, bless you. Aliens, bless you. Dragons, bless you. Peace.